Hello students, we are going to do today is we are going to discuss wage rate flexibility and employment. The classists have advocated the money wage cut policy to solve the problem of unemployment. The classical economists believed that the involuntary unemployment, if it existed in an economy, was a consequence of a rigid wage structure. If wages are lowered sufficiently, all involuntary unemployment would disappear. They thus assume that self-adjusting system of wage rates would push the economy towards the full employment stage. They argued that involuntary unemployment comes in existence due to the interference of the free play of market mechanism in a capitalist economy. Such interferences is a result of collective bargaining of a trade unions to push up wages or governmental intervention through the passing of law of minimum wage. Thus, interferences disturb the smooth functioning of the market mechanism in determining the disequilibrium wage rates, which clears off the labor market. In this context, Dillard remarks, monopolistic behavior on the of labor and labor's friend is responsible for unemployment. If the economic system is allowed to function unhindered without such interferences and wages are allowed to find their own level in perfectly free competition, involuntary unemployment will cease to exist. Thus, wage rate fails under the pressure of unemployment until all potential workers are employed. Pico contends that the removal of interference and existence of free competition would force wages down until it is profitable for the entrepreneurs to employ everyone who wants to work. The classical economist believed that involuntary unemployment is due to the rigidity of wage structure. They therefore advocated a wage cut policy for increasing employment. Since involuntary unemployment is caused by high wages, the cure is low wages. Professor Pigo particularly held the view that unemployment would disappear from society by the device of money wage cuts during a depression. Finally, the whole structure of classical theory is based on the policy of laissez-faire, means government non-intervention in economic affairs. The classists believed in governmental non-interferences and a free economic system under perfect competition. They maintained that the government should not interfere with the economic forces but leave them free and unrestricted to attain equilibrium. Now, what does this mean as a whole? If you look into this, it means that when there is a flexible wage system which is being governed by industry particularly, there would be full employment because industry actually puts up the wages as per the demand and supply. So if government comes up with an argument of a minimum wages, it is not an actually valid argument because by minimum wages, for example, if one industry, let's say automobile industry today, it's not doing well and the government fix up the minimum wages there, so what would happen there? The automobile industry are forced to actually give the minimum wages to the employer, to the labor, but then that is not feasible enough. So what government has to do is government cannot actually dictate the minimum wages here if there is a flexible wages, and that has been actually dictated by the industry itself. It gives the room for the industry to give the wages which is flexible to them, and by this flexi wages there is a full employment because at that wages worker is already getting some employment and that's how it functions. So the market actually reaches to its equilibrium by self mechanism, not by the government interventions. So friends, we have covered this important topic. What I'm going to do is, in a while, I'm going to send you the notes along with other notes on the topics which we have discussed so far. You can you can go through that notes at your leisure. If you have any doubt, any queries, feel free to write me an email and I'm going to respond you back. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you.